So the Scarlet and Violet era has officially ended, and of course we've had a lot of movement with both the sealed product as well as the singles. And specifically with the singles, we've seen some of them shoot up to the top 2, 3, even number 1 card at one point, to at one point not even being a top 10 card. Today, we're going to be looking at how the Scarlet and Violet era has shaped up over the past year, and specifically the top 10 cards from the Scarlet and Violet era, as it's going to be surprising, including myself. I was super surprised to not see some of the cards there of what that top 10 list looks like. Let's dive in. So for today, we're going to be using Polkadata.io to look at our top 10 list, and the number 10 card, which is actually quite crazy and surprising, is the Charizard from Paldean Fates. Yes, the Charizard from Paldean Fates takes the number 10 spot at $274 or $275 based off the TCG player price, and that's what we'll be going off of to rank our top 10. We will not be looking at the PSA 10 price, as that's going to be all over the place depending on the card type and the popularity, of course. This one over here, as per TCG player, is currently going for $275. It is not the number 1 card from Paldean Fates, and I think we all know which card is the number 1. Just looking at the TCG player raw price about a month ago, this card was going for $178. So we are up $100 for this card just less than a month. We're only into the second week of September here. So I mean, really and truly, in less than a month, this one has climbed over $100. And of course, Paldean Fate's getting really popular, aging, and this Charizard is actually a really cool looking card. And if it wasn't for the Mew, it would be, of course, the number 1 card from this set. Personally, for me, this Charizard is actually really cool. I like it much more than the Pokemon 151 Charizard, which actually did not make this list, surprisingly. And of course, that may also change because that Charizard was only a few dollars difference from this Charizard EX from Paldean Fates, the Pokemon 151 that I'm talking about. So by the time you look at this video, that one may creep up a few dollars and be ahead of this Charizard EX. But as of right now, the Charizard EX from Paldean Fates takes the number 10 spot in the top 10, and I think it deserves a spot in the top 10 in my opinion. Coming in number 9 is Sylveon EX from Prismatic Evolutions. Of course, we were going to have some cards from Prismatic Evolutions, and here's the first one. The number 9 spot is Sylveon EX. This one has come down from its highs back in May, and we can have a quick look here. It was around $556 back in the beginning of May, and now we are all the way down to $301. So a little bit of a decline on this one. A good opportunity actually to pick it up if you are a huge fan of Prismatic Evolutions, as the pull rates are horrendous with the set. Horrendous. I mean, I haven't pulled anything from Prismatic Evolutions yet, but $300 or $301 for this Sylveon EX, it's not the worst price. That being said, I do believe that there's a little bit more room for this one to come down, as there's more Prismatic Evolution sealed product being available in the market. Again, they had some releases on the Pokemon Center. If you were able to grab some of that, you could have. They also had some available at Costco, the dual pack with the ETB as well as the booster bundle, of course. So again, there were multiple ways that you could have picked this one up, and you know what, that's probably what's also driving the price down a little bit of this one. And there are so many other cards and so many sets right now that it's just, you know, maybe the hype has died down just a little bit with Prismatic Evolutions, and we will see that with some of the other cards when we do get to them. But as of right now, Sylveon EX is the number 9 card from the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet era. And this one is a surprising one. Greninja EX from Twilight Masquerade. Greninja EX from Twilight Masquerade. This one over here was a top card, number 1 card for even some time, actually. And it's unfortunate to see it go down so much that it's actually now the number 8 card from all of the Scarlet and Violet era. But you know what? I'm glad to see that it's still there, and we may see it move back up at one point. Currently going for $324, on the way up right now, as we can see here. If we just look at the TCG player price, it was around $267 just in the middle of July, and now we have climbed up all the way to that $324 mark. So we're up about $60 from around July. So we are seeing some of these cards rally a little bit. PSA 10 also not bad here, $870 for this one, and we have a population of 7,562 of this. So again, Greninja EX, a really nice card, and for me it was one of my favorite cards from the entirety of the Scarlet and Violet era. It's unfortunate to see it only in the 8th position, because I thought it would have been at least somewhere in the top 5, but of course we've had so many cards come out, and you know, some of these cards just got put on the back burner, and Greninja EX unfortunately was one of them. Twilight Masquerade, a great set, one of my favorite sets from the Scarlet and Violet era, and we will see this card rebound a little bit more. I think this one will be back to around those $400 marks sometime next year. Again, I don't know exactly when, but I think we will see this card go back to those $400 marks at one point. As of right now, Greninja EX takes the number 8 spot from the entirety of Scarlet and Violet era. And in the number 7 spot is Team Rocket's Mewtwo. Another surpriser for me. Honestly, I thought this one would have been in the top 4. $358 for this bad boy. Of course, it hasn't been out for that long, only out for a few months now. PSA 10, however, $1,172. Much higher than some of the other cards, such as the Charizard as well as the Greninja that we just looked at. Of course, the population is much lower, 2,667, and of course, that's also due to the fact that the set has been only out for a few months, whereas Twilight Masquerade's been out for over a year now, which does make a difference. Pull rates from Destined Rivals a little bit more difficult than Twilight Masquerade as well as Pokemon 151, as of course there's a lot of special illustration rares in Destined Rivals, as well as the illustration rares, which we won't get into today, but $341 at the end of August, and now $358 at the beginning of September. So it's up about $20-ish for this card here. It's a fantastic one. Just to focus on it for a second, it's the first time we're seeing Giovanni and Mewtwo together in one card. A beautiful piece of artwork, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this one climb up further in the top 10 at one point once Destined Rivals gets a little bit older. That's just my opinion, of course. So Team Rocket's Mewtwo takes the number 7 spot in the top 10 of the Scarlet and Violet era. And in number 6 is Black Bolt's Zekrom, the beautiful monochrome Zekrom here, this black card over here at $388, just beating the Mewtwo, Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX, of course. And of course, Black Bolt and White Flare are quite new, so we are going to see their prices being a little bit higher than usual. I think these cards are not worth that much, in my honest opinion. $388.48 right now is a little bit too much for this card, just right out the gate. Of course, PSA 10 drawing a $1,250 card. Of course, the population is not there yet, 474, which makes a difference ultimately, right? So the longer the set is out, the more this card is available, the lesser the price will get just at the beginning, of course. So we will see this one dip a little bit more, in my opinion, and then at one point we'll see it rally back up. But here, currently the number 6 card, I don't want to focus too much on it because it is a little bit new, and I feel like it's a little bit pricey right now for this card. It's going for $388 and takes the number 6 spot. If you want my honest opinion, maybe we'll see this card, a $250, $300 card, in the next couple months. We have Mega Evolutions coming out this month, and there's going to be a lot of focus on some of the really nice looking cards in that set, such as, you know, the Lucario as well as the Venusaur EX there. There's a lot of really nice artworks that may start to take the hype off of this Zekrom, as well as some of the other cards that we're going to see shortly. And of course, in number 5 is Reshiram from White Flare, going for $402. Just beats out the Zekrom here. Again, same story with this card over here. Out for a very short period of time. It hasn't had too many sales yet. Population of a PSA 10 is 494. Once this card becomes more available, once more packs have been opened up and this card is more on the market, you'll see this one dip a little bit more, and we'll probably see it shift down to closer to those 8th, 9th, 10th, may not even be in the top 10, you never know, at one point. So again, White Flare's Reshiram takes the number 5 spot. And continuing on with the Black Bolt and White Flare saga here, Victini also in the number 4 spot right now. This is the Black Bolt Victini, which is interesting, which can only mean one thing. We're going to see the White Flare one at one point, currently going for $433, a little bit up there as well. I'm not a huge fan of this Pokemon, but for those of you who are, I can understand why this Victini is a big deal, because again, the first monochrome here, red, beautiful card. I actually like the promo card more, the one that comes in the Victini box. That one is actually way cooler than this one. That's just my opinion. But here it is, $433 for this one. PSA 10 pulling $1,500 right now. Again, way too early to say where this card is going to land. Population is 270 for that one as well. We'll probably see this one drop a little bit in price and go down in the rankings at one point, but currently takes the number 4 spot. And with Black Bolt's Victini in number 4, White Flare's Victini is in number 3 at $447. Just a few dollars more for this one. I'm assuming that the White Flare one is a little bit more popular at this point. I honestly thought it was the Black Bolt set that was a little bit more popular, but I'm seeing that White Flare is starting to gain a little bit more popularity. But generally speaking, we'll probably see all cards from White Flare and Black Bolt start to take a little bit of a dip, because again, new sets are going to be coming out. There's going to be more population of these cards, and popularity is going to die down, and other cards are going to be more popular. Again, that's just how it works, and we see it happen all the time. And we're going to see that with even Prismatic Evolutions cards, and we're already seeing that with some of them. But right now, Victini from White Flare takes the number 3 spot. And in the number 2 spot is Mew EX from Paldean Fates, the bubbly Mew, a beautiful card. I wouldn't be surprised at one point if this card does not become the number 1 card. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. $696 for this card. It continues to climb. A PSA 10 bringing home a $2,000 price ticket here. Population is huge, 12,820 of these graded, so there's quite a bit of these in a PSA 10, and quite a bit of it in PSA 9 as well. At 689, you got 16,000 PSA 9, so this card has been graded to the moon, non-stop. I haven't seen a 10,000 plus grading for a modern card in a while, but here we go. Mew EX is having that, and it's actually on the climb right now. Just at the tail end of August, we were at $562, and just a couple weeks later, we are now at $696, about to touch $700 for a raw copy of this Mew, which is quite insane. Of course, Paldean Fates, we talked about it with the Charizard earlier. It's aging. We're done with the Scarlet and Violet era. Less product is available. Very, very popular card. It has a nickname, of course, kind of like the Moonbryon, which cards that have nicknames tend to be a little bit more pricey in the longer term. I wouldn't be surprised to see this Mew EX surpass and become the #1 card at one point. But here it is, $696. It's up there in price and it continues to climb and currently takes the #2 spot in all of the Scarlet and Violet era. And taking the #1 spot from all of the Scarlet and Violet era is the Umbreon EX from Prismatic Evolutions. However, surprisingly, it is only going for $848. It has come down. If we just look at what was going on with this one at the beginning of July, we were at $1,021 just at the beginning of July. So we are down about $170 since then, and we have just continued to go down. As you can see here in July, 970, 944 in the beginning of August. Then we got to 863. Again, this is in the middle of August, and then we're at 845, and then we stuck down and stayed around that $848 mark, which is what we're currently at. And you know what? It's dying down a little bit. The popularity of this card is dying down. Of course, more of this product is being opened up, giving more availability of this card. Population of the PSA 10 is only 2,777. However, the price of it is $3,463 for a PSA 10 for this Umbreon, the Sunbreon as they call it. Again, another card that has a nickname, but it's very close to the Mew. The Mew and the Umbreon are only off by about $150 at this point, which is quite interesting to see. So we will be looking at this list again. We will be looking at this list again at one point. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mew climb up a little bit further. Will it surpass the Umbreon? I don't know if I could say that. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. We will see in the future. So that was a quick look at the top 10 cards from the Scarlet and Violet era. There's been a lot of changes since last year. We don't see the Magikarp from Paldea Evolved. We don't see Pikachu from Surging Sparks. They no longer are on the top 10. And you know what? I think that top 10 list will change even further once the Black Bolt and White Flare sets are out a little bit longer, as the price of those cards will decline a little bit, changing the positions. I genuinely think that the Mew EX has the ability to take that #1 spot at one point. We have seen the Umbreon card come down in price a little bit, which gives it that opportunity to take over that place. But I think there's still a little bit of time before that happens. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are on this top 10 list, and if you think Mew EX is actually going to surpass the Prismatic Evolutions Sunbreon that is currently in the #1 spot. And if you guys got this far in the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. My name's TRV, you guys are the greatest, and we'll see you next time.